29. I believe
2:29:36.
2:9:36. Yes.
We're good.
Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Today is 7th July 2021, which means the 6th year of anniversary of Harinam on Charles Bridge.
Right.
And so
in case everyone doesn't know, Charles Bridge is this highly populated, famous bridge in Prague. Yes.
It's so highly populated that now not. In coronavirus crisis, there is no one, but normally there is so many people that one almost cannot move anywhere. So 6 years ago we did Harinam there. And we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam today. Canto 2, chapter 9, text 36. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shavya Sadhya, Nastaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamha shloke bhaktir bhavatir naishtitim. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord is established, unto the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna is established as an irrevocable fact. So that's what we are going to do. Regular attendance in the class from Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Etavat.
Etavat.
Eva.
Eva.
Jignasyam.
Jignasyam.
Tatva.
Tatva.
Jignasuna.
Yasuna.
Atmanak.
Atmana.
Anvaya.
Anvaya.
Vyatirekabhyam.
Yatirekabhyam.
Yat.
Yat.
Syat.
Syat.
Sarvatra.
Sarvatra.
Sarvada.
Sarvada.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Anvaya vyatirekabhyam.
Anvaya vyatirekabhyam.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Antavya vyatirekabhyam.
Anvaya vyatirekabhyam.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Antavya vyatirekabhyam.
Anvaya vyatirekabhyam.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada. Etavat eva jignasyam.
Etavat eva jignasyam.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Tatva jignasunatmana.
Anvaya vyatirekabhyam.
Anvaya vyatirekabhyam.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Yatsya sarvatra sarvada.
Etavareva jignasyam. Atma jignasunatmana. Anvaya vyatirekhavyam. Yasyat sarvatra sarvada.
Etavareva jignasyam.
Etavareva jignasyam.
Tattva jignasunatmana.
Jignasunatmana.
Anvaya vyatirekhavyam.
Anvaya vyatirekhavyam.
Yasyat sarvatra sarvada.
Yasyat sarvatra sarvada.
Etavadeva Gigyasyam
Etavareva jignasyam.
Tadvagigyasutnatmanaha
Tattva jignasunatmana.
Mvaya Vyatirekhavyam
Vyatirekhavyam.
Yasyat Sarvatra Sarvada.
Yasyat sarvatra sarvada.
Anyone else would like to recite the verse? So what's the word? Etava,
Etava.
up to this. Eva,
Eva.
certainly.
Certainly.
Jignasyam
Is
is to be inquired.
to be inquired.
Hatva,
Tattva.
the absolute truth.
The absolute truth.
Jignasuna,
Yes.
by the student.
By the student.
Atmana,
Atmana.
of the self.
Of the soul.
Anvaya,
Anvaya.
directly.
Directly.
Yatirekhavyam, directly.
Directly.
Yeah,
Dot.
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Dot.
it may be.
It may be.
Sarvatra,
Sarvatra.
in all space and time.
In all space and time.
Sarvada,
Sarvada.
in all circumstances.
In all circumstances.
Translation by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A person who is searching after the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. So this is Shuta Goswami quoting Shukadev Goswami, right?
Yes.
And
He's quoting Brahma, who's quoting Krishna.
yes, so this is Shuta Goswami who is quoting Shukadev Goswami who is quoting Brahma who is quoting Krishna. So, and we are reading the purport. Last time we ended with the worms. Worms can also surrender unto Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
it's yeah, where it is. It's like takes like 1, 2, 3. It takes like 5 pages in my version.
The paragraph that begins with, therefore there is no need to seek properly qualified.
Yes.
That's what the paragraph begins.
Yes. So it's also, yeah, I hope you all have it by now. So therefore, there is no need to seek properly qualified candidates for discharging devotional service to the Lord. Let them be either well-behaved or ill-trained. Let them be either learned or fools. Let them be either grossly attached or in the renounced order of life. Let them be liberated souls or desirous of salvation. Let them be inexpert in the discharge of devotional service or expert in the same. All of them can be elevated to the supreme position by discharging devotional service under the proper guidance. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:30 and 9:32 as follows. Apiche suduracharva bhajate namananyabha sadureva samantavya samyagupya vasito visha. Manhi kartavya pashritya yatisyuh papayo naya striyo vaishyas tata shudras tatiyanti param gatin. Even if a person is fully addicted to all sorts of sinful acts, if he happens to be engaged in the loving transcendental service of the Lord under proper guidance, he is to be considered the most perfect holy man without a doubt. And thus, any person, whatsoever and whosoever he or she may be, even the fallen woman, the less intelligent laborer, the dull mercantile man, or even a man lower than all these, can attain the highest perfection of life by going back home, back to Godhead, provided he or she takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in all earnestness. This sincere earnestness is the only qualification that can lead one to the highest perfectional stage of life. And unless and until such real earnestness is aroused, there is a difference between cleanliness and uncleanliness, learning and non-learning in the material estimation. Fire is always fire, and thus if someone touches the fire knowingly or unknowingly, the fire will act in its own way without discrimination. The principle is Harir Harate Papan sorry, Drishta Chitar Apismata. The all-powerful Lord can purify the devotee of all sinful reactions, just as the sun can sterilize all sorts of infections by its powerful rays. Attraction for material enjoyment cannot act upon a pure devotee of the Lord. There are hundreds and thousands of aphorisms in the revealed scriptures. Atmarama cha munaya. Even the self-realized souls are also attracted by the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana. Simply by hearing and chanting, one becomes a great devotee of Lord Vasudeva. Nachavati bhagavat padaravinda vavani mi shardam apisa Vaishnavagriya. A person who does not move from the lotus feet of Lord even for a moment or a second is to be considered the greatest of all Vaishnavas. Bhagavat Parshadatam Prapte Matsevaya Pratichamte. The pure devotees are convinced of attaining the association of the personality of Godhead, and thus they are always engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, in all continents, in all planets, in all universes, devotional service to the Lord or Bhakti Yoga is current, and that is the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam and allied with scripture. Everywhere means in every part of the creation of the Lord. The Lord can be served by all the senses, or even simply by the mind. The South Indian Brahmana who served the Lord simply on the strength of his mind also factually realized the Lord. Success is guaranteed for a devotee who fully engages any one of these senses in the mode of devotional service. The Lord can be served by any ingredient, even the most common commodity, a flower, a leaf, a fruit, or a little water, which are available in any part of the universe and without cost. And thus the Lord is served universally by the universal entities. He can be served simply by hearing. He can be served simply by chanting or reading about his activities. He can be served simply by adoring him and accepting him. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that one can serve the Lord by offering the results of one's own work. It does not matter what one does. Generally, men may say that whatever they are doing is inspired by God. But that is not all. One should actually work on behalf of God as a servant of God. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 9:37, Yat karoshi yat ashnasi, yaichuhoshi dadasiya, yat tapasyasi kumteya, tat kurushva mad arpanam. Do whatever you like, or whatever may be easier for you to do. Eat whatever you may eat. Sacrifice whatever you can sacrifice. Give whatever you may give in charity. And do whatever you may undertake in penance, but everything must be done for him only. If you do business or if you accept some employment, do so on behalf of the Lord. Whatever you may eat, you may offer the same to the Lord, and be assured that he will return the food after eating it himself. He is the complete whole, and therefore whatever he may eat as offered by the devotee is accepted because of the devotee's love. But again, it is written as prasada for the devotee, so that we can be happy by eating. In other words, be a servant of God and live peacefully in that consciousness, ultimately returning home back to God. It is said in the Skanda Purana, Yasya smritya chanam Yasya smritya chanam mokritya napoyadna kriyadishu nunam sampurnatameti sadyo vandetam achyutam. I offer my obeisances unto him, the infallible, because simply by either remembering him or vibrating his holy name, one can attain the perfection of all penances, sacrifices, or creative activities. And this is the process. And this process can be universally followed. It was enjoined in Bhagavad Gita. Akanta sarvakamo va mokshachama udaradi. Ivrena bhakti yogena yajatam purusham padam. Though a person be full of desires or have no desires, he may follow this path of intelligent bhakti yoga for complete perfection. One need not be anxious to appropriate each and every demigod and goddess, because the root of all of them is the personality of Godhead. As by pouring water on the root of the tree, one serves and enlivens all the branches and leaves. So by rendering service unto the Supreme Lord, one automatically serves every god and goddess without extraneous effort. The Lord is all-pervading, and therefore service unto him is also all-pervading. This fact is corroborated in the Skanda Purana as follows. We are not going to read that, even though Jupiter is just so nectarian, and I want to keep going, but I will leave the rest for someone else. Omagyanabhinidhamhasya Jananjana Salakaya Chaksurunamikamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Pashapadesha Parine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is like such a merciful purport that any one of us, anytime can plug in to this process of devotional service, and it doesn't matter where we come from, and also for a time being, it doesn't matter how our habits, like how we have changed our habits or not. It's a gradual process. And this report is like so encouraging in like, yeah, and like whatever you do, whatever you eat, just like try to offer it somehow or other to the Supreme Lord, bring Supreme Lord into your life, and then gradually you will become purified. So it's like me reading on Monday from Queen Kunti, teaching some prayers of Queen Kunti, and there was so much purport about like Shri Prabhupada saying, like, okay, if you are a drunkard, if you are drinking alcohol, then remember that Krishna is the taste of the liquor. Like you can remember Krishna in drinking liquor, and that's your start of devotional process, devotional service. And so that's a mercy, and it's similar here. And actually, we are reading chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita. I'm going to look for it because I want to read it exactly. And because it reminds me very much of verse 30. I'm sure the Govinda Prabhu wrote it by heart, but I will read it. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. So this purport reminds me very much of this verse, that like if one is engaged in devotional service and there is the desire to attain the Lord, to attain love for the Lord, then maybe we are still like struggling with the modes of nature, and the senses are like pulling us here and there and everywhere, and then we don't have enough willpower to do something about it. Not like a whimsical excuse. Prabhupada in the purport to this text explains it's not like, oh, just like I think like I chant Hare Krishna so I can do whatever. It's not like this whimsical excuse, but it's like really sincere, like I am weak and I am really incapable to like control my anger or to control my tongue or my genitals. Like we can be at that stage, but then still this person is considered to be saintly because the desire to attain the Lord and the desire to attain the pure life is awakened in his heart by the association of the pure devotee. So it's very encouraging. And then and there is the next verse that I'm going to quote because I just memorized it. So that will be a stretch. It will be slow. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shanti nagachati konteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranasyate. And it says, Anandine is my verse buddy for studying Bhagavad Gita. She's memorizing 4 verses every month. I'm memorizing 2 verses every month. So I'm not a very good buddy. And the second verse says, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. And so right after this verse, there, like Krishna is speaking about the people or the spirit soul who have the desire to attain him, and yet they are still like grossly in the modes of nature and acting like abominably, like maybe still eating meat or having illicit sex, like being like really controlled by the senses. He says they will quickly become righteous. They will quickly become righteous and attain lasting peace. Like Krishna is giving this promise. It's the same like this purport. It reminds me of it very much. And he says, Arjuna, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes, because Krishna knows that Krishna sometimes doesn't fulfill his promises. And Krishna knows that his devotees are greater than himself. And so the word of the pure devotee has an unbreakable value. And Krishna really wants this promise of his to be unbreakable, to be solid like a rock. And so he's asking Arjuna, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So as soon as this desire, like a drop of this desire is awakened in our heart, then the process is going to act. And of course, the drop of desire means action. Like if I have a desire, if I have a sincere desire, it means that I'm going to act on the sincere desire. So let's say I want to become a veterinarian, and I never even like signed up for the entrance exams of the school, then probably the desire is not so sincere. So it's the same thing, like a drop of desire for devotional service awakened in our heart also means that we will want to act on the desire, because otherwise it's not the desire really, if we don't act on the desire. And then we are given the knowledge from Srila Prabhupada how to act on such a desire. And then it's the first thing that we are doing now is hearing the message of the Lord, hearing the message of the pure devotee who like know the process, how we can like develop more of this love or the transcendental service. He says, even if a person is fully addicted to all sorts of sinful acts, if he happens to be engaged in the loving transcendental service of the Lord under proper guidance, he is to be considered the most perfect holy man without a doubt. So we are so fortunate that we have the proper guidance, and it doesn't matter to how many all sorts of sinful acts we are addicted to. And then the holy name is the process is so powerful. And Krishna says we will quickly become righteous. So the process is so powerful, then the attraction for the sinful acts will disappear. Like the senses will not be attracted to it anymore. So it's really not like some like heavy, difficult process that like I have to like stop eating whatsoever and like restrict my senses and I'm starving and like it's like naturally that the taste will change to eat only Krishna Prashanam, or the taste for sex life will completely disappear. So and then I can see practically in my life, like I was addicted to so many. I'm still addicted to many sinful acts, but some of those sinful acts that I was addicted before disappear. Like it's not attractive for me anymore. And then like even like the worms we were eating last time, even the worms, birds, beasts, it's like for everyone is available, attainable. And I love the stories in Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the sinner is transformed. It's like something so touching about it. Like Jagai and Madai, just like murderers, robbers, and then Lord Nityananda, by his causeless mercy, is delivering them. And they completely transform, like they become this like most compassionate, most soft gentlemen, just like transforming like in one lifetime, like in front of the eyes of the people who know them. But now I am reading how Haridas Thakur is delivering the prostitute. So there is a prostitute coming to Haridas Thakur who like wants to engage him in sex to kind of this, I don't know how is it called?
Dishonor him.
Dishonor him, thank you. And so Haridas Thakur is like, yeah, I will fulfill all your desires, just wait until I finish my vow of chanting. The trick is that Haridas Thakur never finishes his vow of chanting because he's just committed to chant all the time. The prostitute doesn't know that. And so she waits, and then by hearing the holy name, she gets purified. So much so that she gives up all her lifestyle and starts to chant 24 hours a day like Haridas Thakur also. Like she goes like from 0 to 100%. So or Mardari the Hunter, that's one of my favorite safe sinner who is like killing animals but brutally, like he lets them with their broken legs and let them like suffer in agony. And then Narada Muni comes along and is like, hey, like don't do this, like chant Hare Krishna instead. And the Hunter is like, okay, I will do that. It's like it's far out. Like I can see why he says that, like they are like considered the most perfect holy name man without a doubt. Because in one sense it's so far out for a person like this. He's a hunter, and then Narada Muni comes along and is like, don't hunt animals anymore. It's painful for them. We don't want to cause others such a pain. And then Mardari the hunter says, yeah, that's true. I never thought about it. And he accepts the instructions of Narada Muni. So in one sense it's like simple, but in the other sense it's so like it's a special soul. It's a special soul that he can like really let go of like being right, and let go of attachment. How am I going to be maintained? And let go like how am I going to look like in my family? Like my wife is probably not going to be very happy when I don't bring food at home, and instead of it I will chant Hare Krishna. It's just like special soul to be ready to accept these instructions, and so like fully. And I can see myself as like this like great sinner. I will not say the most fallen, because in Kali Yuga there is like a big competition. In Kali Yuga is like a big competition who is going to be the most sinner of all sinners. So we are doing all pretty well with that. Yeah, like in my life before I would drink, I would get drunk and throw up, and I would have like sex, and I would torture and kill animals at the vet school and eat meat and like do all sorts of like. And I always knew in my heart that it's like I didn't want to do it, but I want to belong. So I was like trying to belong. And then when Prabhupada came and said like, don't do this, I felt like thank you. It was such a relief because Prabhupada like took the stand for me, but for what I always wanted to take stand, but had never like enough strength, enough clarity, enough courage to do that. And I'm so happy that I don't have to do these things, like that I can like for when I stop drinking and then like I am with my friends or with my family and then everyone's like drink, no, and then like eventually I would like, okay, I will rather take them to like listen to this. And I'm like, no, I'm not drinking, I'm clear. And then after 6 years of that, my family is also clear and they don't ask me anymore. So it's any kind of sinner can be purified by this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and then like endeavor, like the sincere endeavor. It's not like it'll like automatically happen, like, oh, I'm like sinner, so I eat meat, but I chant Hare Krishna, so I guess the taste will go away. So not necessarily in this way, but like, okay, like endeavoring to control my senses, maybe fail sometimes because the senses are so strong and we have been so long like controlled by them for trillions of lifetimes. So of course there will be like fall downs and like mistakes, but then we are on the path, and the path is really beautiful. And every mantra we chant, every time we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. We are closer to the destination. We are closer to our home every time. It's amazing. We don't know how far it is. It's probably different distance for every single one of us. But it's every time we chant, we take a step closer. And I actually shared this realization with Eze and Eze as well, but we don't know how long the step is. So I was thinking about it after our discussion. And then the step is as long as we are chanting without offenses and sincerely. So for example, I'm speaking about this offense of like, oh, of course I can do whatever I want because I chant Hare Krishna and that will purify my heart. And it's like, no effort needed from me. So that's offense to the holy name. And so maybe the step when I chant Hare Krishna, then I will surely make a step, but maybe it's like a step of an ant, like a very tiny little step. But if I chant offenselessly, sincerely, with attention, with emotion, then I don't know, maybe it's like a mile step, maybe like a gigantic step. So that's exciting. And every single moment we can use in making a step. Every single moment we can make another step on this path. When we remember to do so. So that was my question yesterday at the program about like how to remember. And I was meditating on it, and actually I got some answer. And that's actually my pearl from. We also have Krishna book reading club. Yeah. I don't remember nothing. I remember nothing from the Krishna book reading club, but I remember my pearl, and my pearl was calm, quiet, and peaceful. Calm, quiet, and peaceful. And today, when I look at Jeremy, he's not here anymore. I remember this quiet, and I knew like this is like the space. The quiet space is the space to remember. And I even like with chanting. Like sometimes I feel like I'm just like I have so much noise in my head, and then like it feels like I'm just adding like more noise. But the chanting is like meditation. So it's like it starts with the quietness within. And I know I have so much experience when my mind is quiet, then I can chant. And that's why I'm also choosing in my life, I'm trying to choose the activities that naturally, I didn't have the realization, it was like more like subconscious, but I'm choosing the activities that help me to be quiet, like driving the car or healing a horse or cooking, like activities that are like kind of meditative in themselves. It doesn't require too much like processing, thinking, like so it's like seeking this quiet place to like really be open for the mantra. So it's like noise, not noise on the noise, and also there is a space in that quiet space to remember. So yeah, and then gratitude. Let's think about gratitude, because remembrance comes from Krishna. And that's something I've been practicing. Like anytime I remember to say like thank you, it's like the gratitude that I got the opportunity to remember. And then like of course, like I think like we can make some progress in spiritual life, but there is a point where like without gratitude, we will really not get much far, if at all, somewhere. Of course, the chanting will help us to get to gratitude, so that's good because chanting will get us develop all these sattvic qualities. But yes, like gratitude that I have this human form of life, and it's like every single moment, every single day is such a gift. I don't have much realization when I say it, but like to know that this like opportunity is so rare, and then to having this knowledge from Shah Prabhupada. And like really like it's such a matchless, it's a matchless gift, and then like having gratitude for it instead of like resentment, like oh I have to get up, I have to chant my rounds. No, I don't have to. I really don't have to. I have this special opportunity that's so rare. Like even if you just look like around, like how many living entities, the grass, the trees, and so many bugs in the actually there are no bugs in the house, but so many bugs in the house. It's just like they have the opportunity to hear from us, and we shouldn't direct them from the opportunity. But they don't have the opportunity to do this, and we do have this opportunity, and it's like a treasure that we can take every moment, and so like to like really like learn to understand how great opportunity this is, and learn gratitude simultaneously. Because without the gratitude, it's all about like the false ego. I'm like so good and I'm like doing this process and I'm like in control, and like look at me, I should be 16 rounds. But it's like we can do our sincere effort, but we are really not in control of this. It's a gift that we were given, and like this body, like what does like I will not go into like that Maya can cover me again and I will forget, and that happens. So much. Prabhupada says, don't be surprised by those who stay. Well, don't be surprised by those who leave. Be surprised by those who stay. So it can happen to anyone, anytime, really. And okay, if I am like feels like, oh, it couldn't happen to me. It can happen to me anytime that this body will be like finished. And then next life I get the body of, I don't know, a cockroach or something, whatever I was absorbed in during time of death. And then I cannot do this anymore. So it's and I think it's somewhere, I don't know if I read this part of the purport or not, because I read a little more yesterday, but like it says, it's like every moment that we don't do this, we don't utilize this opportunity as a waste moment. So to like really understand it and then from there go to the gratitude. Like thank you, Shah Prabhupada, that you are giving me this wonderful opportunity. And it's like same with the desire. Like if I have a desire, then probably it will show as an action. And if it doesn't, then it's probably not very strong desire or not very sincere desire. So same with gratitude. Like if I have gratitude and don't like show it in action, then it's probably not much of a gratitude. Same like if I have love, but I don't like really do anything for anyone, it's like all the emotions are leading to action. So all emotions are leading. So if I have anger emotion, I break my husband's head. And if I have gratitude emotion, I will probably like do something to show my gratitude, like do some little service while knowing that like whatever I do is like cannot pay for what I'm getting. That's gratitude, and then like wanting to do more. So yes, what time is it, please?
It's 8:46.
8:46. Okay, so I might say something more. So I don't know, maybe I said everything that I want. Yes, so I think I will stop here and read the verse again. A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. And now I remember what I wanted to say. So I will say one more thing. That's my personal experience with this process of bhakti yoga. And well, I'm always speaking about me anyway. Maybe you know this, but I try to put Krishna somewhere, so it sounds good. And so I just had another miscarriage a month ago, and like it happened a few times before, but this experience is like completely different. Not that because there is less grieving, but because like my faith that Krishna loves me and it's good somehow, I don't know how, it's like increased so much. Like every time before it was like, Krishna hates me, why this happens to me, like so terrible. And then I had a stillborn baby, and then I had like so much transformation of heart, and I'm really like grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. And it's like when it happened, I felt like a little child, like a 2-year-old child. And then the father says like, "Oh, you cannot have this like 20th lollipop, and you know because it's not good for you, and your tooth don't get damaged." And I'm like, "No, I don't want lollipop. No, I'm so like angry with that, and so disappointed and frustrated." And then I knew like eventually the child grows up and he's like, "Oh, thanks, Dad, that you didn't let me do this." Or if that is like, I don't know, 13-year-old girl and she wants to go out with like 25-year-old drug addict, and then says, "No, you stay home," you know, and maybe he has to lock the door so she doesn't run away or whatever. She was like so much hate and anger for the dad. And later on, it might transform to like, "Thank you for saving me from so much troubles." And that's the experience I have had in these past 2 years. And yeah, and so now with this miscarriage, it's like, yeah, I trust you, Krishna. I have this trust. I don't think it will like be there for all life circumstances that could come. I don't think so. But it's still like so nice to like observe this transformation to faith, and also like trust in life, like really trusting that the adventure Sattva 3 is coming up soon. Sattva 3, the adventure of conscious living. So like really trusting that that is like the Krishna has planned. It's like so good for every one of us. And then of course we don't have to ever like see that. We don't have to ever like grow up from the 2-year-old or 13-year-old to the adult. It's like it's a choice to grow up. And the opportunity is there. So eventually Krishna's plan is that all the living entities in this material world will grow up. I am not saying that I grew up, but in this certain area of my life, I can feel this transformation. And then Krishna's plan is for every one of us to grow up, and in the process is so simple. It's like it starts like, yeah, do whatever you do, eat whatever you eat, like don't have to even change your habits, but just like start to cultivate the desire to go back home, start to chant the mantra. Like when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, he didn't expect that any of the hippies will like ever cultivate any sattvic habits. He really didn't expect that. But he had this like vision of like, okay, like if they chant Hare Krishna, that's all. It's all in all nonsense. I will be like so happy, so successful with this my spiritual master. They chant and they started to chant and chant. And then the power of the Maha Mantra was like really revealed to everyone involved, including Prabhupada. He knew the power of Maha Mantra, but I think for him to like witness it like this must have been quite something. So now I'm going to stop. Thank you all for your attention. Hare Krishna, and here is Payanen, Malini, Brielle, Len, and Yura Govinda Prabhu here in person, and I welcome any questions, comments, doubts, criticism.
I much appreciated the phrase you used, that Prabhupada took a stand for you. I really like that. I resonate with that. Because like, yeah, I mean, pretty much all of us just involved, kind of like the modern Western life. I'm just like, yeah, of course that we do. And we all think we're completely free like that. And then when we read Prabhupada, like, no, you don't have to do those things. And then I think for many souls, I think you described it well. For many souls, it's like, oh, okay, wow. It's like Prabhupada's taking a stand for my higher self with all those personal growth terms, and like Prabhupada's really taking a stand for our most glorious self, our integrity, our character, and so yeah, I got more aware of like why I appreciate Prabhupada in a personal way. So I like that phrase.
Thank you for sharing. He's like the dad. He's our eternal spiritual father who is taking stand for us not to do all this nonsense. I was actually thinking of in these terms of Krishna too when I was arranging for this trip here, and I wasn't quite sure what I should do or shouldn't do, but I felt like, okay, I trust I have some sincerity in my heart to serve. And then, okay, so in whatever, like we have the different relationships with Krishna, like a servant or like a parent or lover or friend. And I was thinking, okay, whatever relationship I have with Krishna, I don't really know, servant for sure. Then he's always in the position of like sheltering me with like helping me not to do any nonsense. And so I was thinking like, okay, if this is the nonsense, maybe I will get a positive coronavirus test or something and I will stay home. And I thought like on one hand, it can be like giving him responsibility for my decisions, but on the other hand, I really felt like, Krishna, like decide for me, please, because I don't have the intelligence. And in whatever role I am towards you, it's always like I am like the one who is like sheltered with guidance. Like the woman is always sheltered by her father or her husband or the grown-up son. So in whatever relationship with Krishna, it's always his sheltering, protection. Any other comments or questions? Louder? Oh, Glenn? Well, when you disappear, yeah, okay, good. Now we are appearing.
Hare Krishna. So, yeah, Hladini, I appreciate the idea that, a couple ideas that you said that, you know, even if you just chant one round sincerely, then you're making a step forward, making a progress towards Krishna.
Mantra,
And- what?
one mantra.
One mantra, yeah. Not even a round, one mantra. Or even one word, one name of God. So that's kind of encouraging that, you know, you don't have to get down on yourself. You didn't do many rounds or many mantras, but there's no diminution. So whatever is in your spiritual bank, it always stays there. It doesn't go away. It doesn't, the value does not deflate. It's, it's in the bank. It's better than the bank because in the bank, your money, because of inflation, becomes worthless. But in your spiritual bank account, the mantras that you've got in there will never diminish. So that's an encouraging thought. And I guess I would question I have would be maybe you could speak a little bit about you know, how you personally came to Krishna consciousness, and what changes it made for you in your personal life. If you want to speak about that a little bit, perhaps.
Okay.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about myself. And I appreciate that you took like the metaphor I use, like walking, like making the mantra, and like every mantra is a step towards the goal. I like that you like transform it into like money metaphor. Like every mantra is like a $100 bill that I put on my transcendental bank account, and then I can buy air tickets to Vaikuntha. And we don't know how much it costs. So yes, how I came. So I was in Florida 10 years ago. It's exactly 10 years ago that I came first time in Florida to ride horses. And then my horse trainers took the Sattva seminars. And then my horse trainers told me, go take the Sattva seminars too. You will have a lot of fun and it will help you with your horse riding. I said, it will help me with my horse riding. I will do anything that will help me with my horse riding. So I did the Sattva seminar, stopped horse riding, and started to chant Hare Krishna. That's pretty much all the story. And so thank you. I feel cheated. Krishna is the best of the cheaters. And then I was speaking about the gratitude for Shah Prabhupada, but really my gratitude expands, or I at least try to cultivate that to the Raghavendra Prabhu and Malini. Because maybe Shah Prabhupada is my eternal spiritual master, and then an eternal spiritual master, and then the Raghavendra and Malini are my spiritual mother and father for this lifetime. And hopefully it's not the last lifetime of service together. And yes, so thank you for asking. I don't have much more story. It's just like I felt like finally, like someone taught me how to live this life. And I was so like, actually sometimes I think also in relationship to myself to Sanatana Goswami, not that I would be on his level, but it's similar in a way that I had everything. Like everyone is on one seminar, yes. Well, but it's a recording, so I don't know. Anyway, so like when I came to the advanced seminar, like I knew that like everything in my life is working. Everything in my life is working well. Like I have a career that I love to do. I have a fiance, and I have like I'm traveling the world, and I'm like healthy, and I have education. I kind of like have it all. And then I knew that my life is not working at all, because I felt so disconnected. And especially after the foundational seminar, when I already had a little bit of realization of this, I felt like I don't know who I am. I'm so disconnected from myself. Like what you are afraid at this seminar, I don't know because I don't even know what's inside of me. I have no idea what will come up. So Gira Govinda Prabhu gave me this feedback. I experienced you as a stranger to yourself. And I felt like such like, I didn't know who I was. And then Sanatan Goswami, when he approaches Lord Chaitanya, he has much more material facets than I had. And he says, hear me. I don't even know who I am. And so after the Advanced seminar, I felt I knew who I was. I'm not quite there now. But yeah, and I felt and I said it at the graduation ceremony. I felt all I had before was like it's no value. Like Dhruva Maharaj when he is praying for the kingdom, and then he meets Krishna and he says, I was praying for the pieces of broken glass. And I felt like in my life all I had till now was like the broken glass. And what I got is like connection with myself and connection with Krishna, and the mantra and the process, and somebody finally taking stand for me to live the values that I believed in before. It's just like, yeah.
Can I ask one more thing? So your attraction to horses, obviously it's not really a distraction to your spiritual life, but it helps you probably get connected more to Krishna. Maybe you could speak a little bit about that, how you, your connection with horses and the, who of course they are also spirit souls and you're very close to them. And how does that bring you closer to Krishna?
Thank you. Well, it brought me closer because I went to Sapato seminar to have my horse riding. But Dira Govinda Prabhu could share after the seminars in Czech Republic that all the participants are horse riders or eventually dog people, because animals are used in therapy. And there is a reason for that, because animals like really help us. They are great mirrors for us, and they help us to connect. Like it's like reconnective and healing for so many to be in the presence of animals or in nature. Like nature is like healing. So it's like working with horses. Sooner or later, the people will realize like, oh, if I'm attached for the horse to do something, the horse will never do it. Or if I'm like angry and I'm pretending that I'm not angry, the horse will react. If I'm angry and I am like, and I let the horse know it, then the horse responds like very, like, I don't know, like, it's like all like aligned and connected. But as soon as there is something like hiding, pretension, attachment, then the horses react to it and react to it in a way that's like not pleasant. So sooner or later, the people understand, oh, it's not about the riding skills. It's not about like having your heel down and sitting straight. It's really about the inner clear intention. Like when the rider has clear intention, the horse kind of naturally acts like I have clear intention to move my hand. And if I have a clear intention for the horse to do something, the horse will do it. And he is capable to do so. So people naturally come to this place of like wanting self-realization because it helps them with their horse riding. That's one. And then second is it brings like these moments of inner calmness and quietness where we can hear guidance from within. So it's still a special experience, and I am like creating seminars for like self-realization with horses seminars, where people go and like through the connection with horses, they are exploring themselves. And I think there is a beautiful quote from Mother Teresa about nature, like how you can find God in silence. Like God is not going to. It's actually my realization today anyway. It's like God is not going to be found in like all the noise of the Western world, really, but in silence. And nature is so silent, especially in Czech, like in the winter. all the insects and birds and everything's just like somewhere sleeping and so silent. It's like I'm always like astonished by how silent the nature becomes in the winter. And then in that silence, we can start to hear the vibration of the mantra in our.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that horses and animals in general are not wearing masks. And
No,
they're being genuine, they're sincere, and they know exactly when you're wearing a mask and when you're being a fake and phony. And maybe this is an advantage animals have over human beings who we've learned to be so deceptive and so phony and fake. Yet the animal can sense that immediately and will not respond to you. Whereas so much subterfuge is going on in relationships and human relationships going on. You know, you have verbal behaviors are not coherent with the nonverbal behavior, and what is a person really thinking? What is a person really feeling? It's difficult. But animals are just straightforward. They're out there, and I think they have no problem connecting with God. Although maybe they can't talk about it, but I really, yeah, okay, this is one reason we're in a human body, because we can make a connection to the higher, to supreme. But you know, Krishna made animals to be this way. Okay, I don't know. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but you know, anyway.
well,
And
like
so, and you also are using the horses for healing other people, I hear. Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, I feel understood. And then to this comment of like the animals might be connected with God, I don't know, but it reminds me of the example of the baby in the womb. The baby in the womb is in a sense much more covered than baby who is born. But it's described in Bhagavatam how the baby, the spirit soul in the womb, in the human body, is praying for the Lord. Like, this is so much suffering. I promise that when I get out, I will give my life to you, and I will serve you, and I will make this my last. And then the baby is born, and then like there is the mom and dad and grandparents, and you are so cute, and the baby becomes like the center of the world, and every time it cries, everyone's like, oh, what do you want? And so then it's described that the spirit soul kind of like thinks, oh, this place is actually pretty good. I think I will stay here and forget. And so it's possible, like from this example, it's possible, but I don't know that, I don't know if it's true. It's possible that the spirit soul in this lower species is praying like this too. Like, wow, this is so miserable. I promise that next time I will get a human body. I will serve you with love and devotion. But then gets the human body and it's like, oh, it's pretty good. I can do now what I want. I don't have to be like born in the stool anymore. There's like so much more facilities to enjoy. So it's possible, but generally speaking, the opportunity to, like when we have the desire and to show the sincerity of the desire is to act on the desire. So that opportunity is the human body. So this promise is like, I am so sincere, Krishna. When I get out of the womb, I promise I will serve you. Maybe it wasn't so sincere. But then we have the Krishna coming here as Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotees, who are coming to remind us, remember how much suffering is here? Don't you remember that you wanted to serve Krishna? Now you have the opportunity. So Krishna reminds us, even in the human form. Thank you, Anna. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I had fun.